Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and we're nearing the end of our look at whether or not the Predacons could be a viable third faction to the more popular Autobots and Decepticons. And I don't mean the Predacons from Beast Wars. We already know that they're descended from the Decepticons. I'm not talking about those from, RID, the original RID that or car robots, if you will, that are really linked to the Decepticons. I'm talking about these guys who are really capable of being a truly independent third option. And we've gone through, by now, a whole slew of these guys. And what better place to kind of end things off than with the leader of the group, at least a version of him. In fact, to end this little series, I'm going to take a look at this guy and one other version. This is the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Ultimate class, apparently, Beast Fire Predaking. And we're going to take a look at this guy and see just how ultimate he really is in the latest GotBot True Review. Okay folks, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot, and as always I thank you for dropping by for a little visit. Please check out Machinery Man, the Everything Factor. Check me out everywhere. Have a look around the page, see what might catch your interest, and of course like, comment, subscribe, share all of that good stuff. And this is a very impressive version of the Transformers Prime Predaking. When this guy first came out as a character, I think a lot of people were disappointed and said that's not Predaking. He's a combiner. He's a Decepticon. He's not supposed to be. Yes, he takes on the moniker, that has become famous for a combiner team, but he is a completely different character. If anything, he should, timeline-wise, really be like a predecessor to that group. If anything, they're probably a bit of an homage to him if you were to put pieces and bits of the multiverse together, which I am apt to do sometimes, just because I like everything to be canon. And we had a few Cyberverse versions of this guy, and they were pretty cool and small. And we had an initial Voyager class version, which is okay, but I always felt like his wings were too low on his back and just too, like, the wings were too simple looking, not enough detail on them, or at least not enough color detail on them. I didn't really like that first Voyager. And then of course we got this guy, and he's impressive. Now out of package, this is how he looks, and guess what? He is mistransformed right away. So we're gonna put him in Dragon mode, because technically that's really what he's kind of starting out in. So what's mistransformed? These back legs are mistransformed. Basically, you have a section here where it's a little bit of hollow plastic on the leg. That should really be turned so that it's inside. So you got, a solid look out here. And you should split the knee. And when you split the knee, there's a black tab right here that goes into a slot right here on the thigh. So you do that and you angle the leg down, and then the black peg goes into the slot, and you take the knee piece and you just kind of flip it up like that. And this is how the leg should be. We'll do the same thing with the other leg. We turn it around so that the hollow plastic on the thigh is inside. We split the knee and bring it up to the side. We angle down the calf of the leg. We peg the black rectangular peg into the hole, we bring up the knee, and now we have a Predaking that is properly transformed. He is full of articulation, but we'll get to that in a minute, because of course our first measure is gonna be paint apps. This guy has pretty great paint apps, to be honest with you. I love the way that the yellow and orange on the thigh go into each other. You'll see that better in robot mode. I like the look on the Infernum blade here, or his tail. I feel like I saw pictures where this silver was actually an orange detail. I think I would have liked that better than the silver, but whatever. At least we got some extra paint on it. The head, you know, that looks all right. It could have used some extra paint details as well. But it doesn't look bad. Oh, also, I should point out these little side flaps here. They should come down to sort of fill in the body a bit. I was never sure on the show if he was black and orange or if he was sort of almost like a smoky grayish color and red. I was never 100% sure because he was always sort of cast and dark and spent so much time in dragon mode as it was. It's no mistaking who this is mold-wise. Color-wise, I don't feel like the black and orange is exactly Predaking. In fact, I believe in Japan he's known as Dragotron or Dragontron. I really can't remember the name. And the paint scheme used there is black and red. So I'm going to give his paint apps. It looks okay, but I don't know how screen accurate it really is, to be honest with you. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm going to give him a 7.5. Posability, playability. Well, the wings have like I believe it's a 20, 21, 19, whatever inch wingspan. It's very wide, but they do close up. There's a hinge kind of halfway on the wing, like right here, and you can close it up there. So that's cool. The wings, of course, can go up and they can go way down on a couple of hinges, really. They also detach, because this is a battery compartment that has, you know, light up gimmicks, because, you know, those are always great. If you didn't see my countdown of 10 Transformers gimmicks, you can check that out to see my thoughts on lights and sound. But it's nice that they can come off, not only for the battery compartment gimmick, but so you can just kind of store them easier. Now, this isn't mine. This actually belongs to the Scraplets. This was a birthday gift. And I'm going to say now, he is certainly more expensive than the regular run-of-the-mill Voyager class one that was out. He's a bit pricey. In my neck of the woods, he was going for about double the price of a Voyager. He also comes with two of, and I'm not really going to show these in great detail, he also comes with two of these. They're like little crossbow launcher things. Now there's an orange projectile that goes in there, and you would press this orange button to make the projectile fire. The bottom has a little black tab that's actually kind of like a plus sign is the shape, and they can go attached to the wings up here, and another one over on this wing over here. So you could store them there in beast mode. Like I said, the wings move, the head, it can move forward, and the jaw opens. In fact, there's a little handle, I guess, right here that is it that side? I think it's that side. No, it's this side. There's a little button right here that my thumb is on. Next to his neck, it pulls it forward. If I had batteries in this guy, you would see the yellow crest on his head light up, and I believe maybe inside his mouth even lights up when it opens to mimic him shooting beast fire. He's a fire-breathing dragon. What do you want? The legs, they can move out, forward a bit, back a little bit. No knee bend or anything. That's a little bit unfortunate, but still, you got a nice range of motion there. The tail is in a fixed position. Kind of in a fixed position. It's in a fixed position, but there's a flap up on the back that can move. So you do have motion with the tail. It's just a little bit of a weird motion. And you have really full use of the arms. So shoulders, out to the side, the bicep swivel, the elbow, the hoof, claws, I don't know what you call this, the foot. It can move around just on a ball joint, and you can even open and close the claws. So a good range of motion in this mode, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm really happy with it. In robot mode, he is also still full of articulation with a bicep or with a thigh swivel and a knee bend that's nice and deep. Ankle tilt, I do believe. Maybe even got the ankle tilt here, do you? A little bit. Yeah, you got the ankle tilt here, so he has ankle tilts in both modes. Honestly, I'm not sure if he has a waist. We'll check that out when we get there, but overall, he does pretty much everything that you would want the guy to do. I'm going to have to give it a very strong 9. I think it's excellent articulation and everything is nice and ratchety. It's great. Transformation, we'll go into that now. First thing to do is unpeg this. There's a little 5mm hole on this back flap that I'm moving, and the Infernum blade itself has a 5mm handle, and this becomes his big Predaking sword, or will. It's impressive. It's a really nice sculpt. I love the look of this thing for a sword. It is, I don't know. I know I wouldn't want to be hit with it. So we're going to lay that aside and get into the transformation. I guess I'll take this off. That's that crossbow launcher thingy. And we will set this guy up now. And it's not a hard transformation, surprisingly, for the Transformers Prime line, especially with a figure this big. Remember, he's called Ultimate Class. I'll say this, though. Compared to the Ultimate Class Optimus Prime, that thing was massive and dwarfs this guy. I'll explain exactly how big he is when we get him in robot mode, just to give you, just to give you an idea. So we put down the kneecaps first. That's probably the easiest spot to start. We unpeg the thigh with this black peg coming out from the orange piece there, and we straighten out the calf of the leg. We bring it all the way around until it clips in, and we bring the knee down. We do the same on this side. We unpeg the leg. We bring it up on the ratchet for the knee. We bring it forward. Now, what was the front of the leg, these claws are now going to be his heel spurs. We bring down the knee, and we turn him around, and that is the lower body of Predaking done, to be honest with you. It's as simple as that. It's pretty great. You'll notice what I was talking about with the paint, the yellow going into the orange on the thighs. I love it. I think it looks fantastic. We come to the arms and we bring them down. Come to this arm and we bring it down. And, okay, full disclaimer here, the scraplets lost a piece of this hand and broke off his claws. He should have 3 long claws. They broke off his 3 long claws on the left hand, and he should have 2 more smaller claws, but that's just a piece that frictions on over. It looks, it looks like this. It has 2 claws on it. They have it. It's just a matter of where it's to in the abyss of the toy chest. Still, it doesn't really affect this guy too much, to be honest with you. It's too bad, but no big deal. I don't like his hands anyway. They're on ball joints that I feel are good for movement, and it's nice to have wrist articulation, but they're kind of loose, and they can't really hold on to anything per se, even though they do articulate. I'm not a fan with how the hands are done with this guy. I will point out now he has a thigh swivel. He does have a nice, just under 90-degree knee bend. Like I said, no waist, and we're going to finish the transformation now. We just take the head and we pull it back onto his back. We turn the robot head around, and boom, in the end, you have yourself. If you want to fold up his wings, you can. If you want to leave them displayed out, you can do that too. I mean, you could always just, have them out the whole time like this for a wider, more impressive looking stance. And he still, he still stands great. It's just, I don't know, I feel like let's bring him in. Here, let's hinge them in just so he has a smaller silhouette for the sake of the review space here. But you have him there in his robot mode. Honestly, the transformation is easy. The legs are a little bit tricky, but if you've watched this, you now know how to do those. What can I say? Follow that exactly. Your guide really is the hollow bits on the thigh. They should be facing inside, not outside, and then it's just a matter of twisting the knee around the right way. just like I showed going to robot mode. Well, you know, do the reverse to go back. Just for the sake of it, because I know it is challenging. If you start out in robot mode with this guy and you want to do this leg into, you know, his dragon mode, you bring up the kneecap, you unsnap the knee and bring the leg out to the side. And when you do that, you're going to bring it out and then you bend it down. That will kind of position this black tab here to go into the thigh. Like that. And that's how you do, you know, that's how you do the dragon leg again. To go back to robot mode, you unpeg the dragon leg, you bring it out, you straighten it out, you bring it all the way around. He's solid, he's big, he is pretty great. But is he ultimate? Is he really ultimate? Well, here he is next to Voyager class, current Voyager class, Titans Return Alpha Trion. He's certainly bigger than Alpha Trion. And I do feel like Alpha Trion's a little bit small of a Voyager. So he's certainly bigger than Alpha Trion. There's no doubt about that. I looked at Alpha Trion in full with a bunch of base modes even in episode 190. I would venture to say to you that this ultimate class Predaking is basically a leader class. He's basically a leader class. This is the Titans Return Power Master Optimus Prime, who I like to use as Super Ginrai personally. You can see that they're comparable, so I'd say this ultimate class Predaking is pretty much the, you know, let's just move it over a little bit, is pretty much the same size as a leader class. I looked at this Optimus in full in episode, I believe it was 128. I will double check, but I'm pretty certain that that's what it was. Yeah, 128. So we'll take him out of it. He's impressive. He is impressive. Now, what about those couple of weapons? Well, you can take the little launcher thing, and apparently it should go onto his arm. Now, his arm has looks like a 5mm port on it, and this is a bit of a plus sign. I don't know if it will actually fit in there. I suppose. Oh yeah, it does. It fits in his hand, or fits on his hand, no problem. Here, we'll put that one actually over on this side. Naturally, it does not want to work with me. It can go there. If you had the second one, you could put it over here so he can have those crossbow things on his arms. I think that's really cool. You know, crossbow arms. That's tough. In the center of the hand, we have another 5mm port, and that is exactly where you peg in his sword, his Infernum blade. And now he can also wield that. Because of the ball joint in the wrist, however, I don't feel like it holds the best. Like, I feel like it's loose. Always wants to go forward because this sword has a lot of weight to it. So I can understand it wanting to pull forward. It's just a little ball joint in the wrist. It's, you know, like, well, maybe it does hold better than I thought. Maybe it does hold better than I thought. He's impressive. He is a pretty great Predaking, to be honest with you. We're just going to take this out of his hand again. We'll take this out, if I can. And of course I pull off his entire hand. Like I said, I mean, it's just a little ball joint, you know. If you look at it, here's the hand. It's just a, you know, it's just a little ball joint. And it just, no big deal. It just slots back into the wrist. Certainly not broken or anything. So we're going to put that down and that down. Like that. Throughout my recent, you know, videos, I've looked kind of at this whole group, like through, you know, videos we'll say 95, 196, up until now at different times. You know, there he is with the protector of the group, we'll say Ripclaw. She's, you know, she's kind of protective of her brethren. Here, let's throw Dark Steel here and back. He's the one who sort of breaks up the group and gives them a bit of levity. We also can throw in here Grimwing and Blackbeak. I kind of saw Grimwing as the conscience of the group when Predaking wants to do something that he probably shouldn't be doing. Here's kind of the brooding, combative fighter of the group in Vertebrake. You know, here's a viable, if not completely trustworthy, second in command in Laserback. Here's the one that I think is wise for giving advice and probably the scientist of the group, if they even have one, in Skylynx, who does not like to stand well at all. You know, here's the combiner of the group, that being Abominus. And just because, for me, they would be kind of Predacons without a home, just because of my personal collection, I tend to lump Skybite with these guys. Why not bolster those forces a bit? And I tend to lump Waspinator with these guys because I do not have, at least not as of yet, a very full kind of Beast Wars collection. A little bit unfortunate. Might be something that I got to rectify. Anyway, with Predaking here, what can I say? He is a, you know, a 7, a good 9 for transformation, a good 9 for articulation. Honestly, overall, this Predaking, if you don't, you know, if you dig the colors and the paint scheme, honestly, he's a 9. He's a good figure. He's a fun figure, and he's imposing. You could believe that in battle, this guy's gonna mess you up. Is he ultimate? No, he's a nice leader class. He's a nice leader class. He's also kind of pricey. I got to admit, he is kind of pricey. I understand why, but maybe you wanted to have a version of this guy that's not so hard on the pocketbook, depending on your situation, of course. Is there another viable version? Well, this is what we're going to answer in the very last part to this little series. So stick around, join me next time when we have a look at another version of this guy and see how it stacks up. This guy overall, like I said, he's about a 9. I can even look past the paint because he's so good in every other respect. And that's it. We have a great leader for this third faction, and I appreciate you giving me some of your time. You know, as always, I love to see you here, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the video.